Hi, welcome to clickmyproject.com. This video will lead us to finding top key answers in keyword search over relational databases using tuple units. In this process, we are going to see how we find top key answers for keyword search using tuple units. Tuples are mined as a strainer trees which ascertain tuple based on structural relationship among tuples when probing keywords in affiliated databases. In extent, concerns are answered by isolated tuple unit, but in abundant compacted diversified tuple units are used for answering concern which associate false negative. A contemporary procedure is intended to assimilate diversified tuple units to answer a keyword concern. The single keyword based structure our index and keyword pair based structure our index, which is peculiar guide. The structural relationship among tuple unit as indexes is assimilated to accomplish ambiguous attainment. Indexes are used to recognize unified tuple units effectually. The top key answers are recognized by using ranking procedure and invention. The competency and affirmative outcome of our procedure is obtained by implementing in real-world databases, and our method is considerably better than the state-of-art procedure. First, we give relational data set as an input. After selecting the data set, we load the relational data set into the database. Then, we generate tuple units from relational database. After generating the tuple units, we model the tuple units into Boolean adjacency matrix in order to compute minimum distance matrix. After computing the minimum distance matrix and Boolean adjacency matrix, we compute minimal path matrix for tuple units. We compute minimal path matrix based on the Boolean adjacency matrix and minimal distance matrix. Then we rank the tuple units. For ranking the tuple units, we use single keyword structure our ranking and keyword pair based structure our ranking. Also, we use multiple keyword structure our ranking techniques. Here, we score the tuple units based on direct scoring and indirect scoring for single keyword structure our ranking and keyword pair based structure our ranking. Also, we use DB scoring and indirect scoring for multiple keyword structure our ranking. After ranking the tuple units, we index the tuple units. Here we use SK indexing and KPSA indexing. Also, we use MKSA indexing for indexing the tuple units. After indexing the tuple units, we process the query. There we find top key answers for keywords query. After finding the answers, we evaluate the search efficiency and quality of our proposed system. Now we are going to see the demo of the whole process. To start the process, first run home.java. Then we are going to view the data set. Here we are viewing the relational data set, namely author, paper and paper author. Then we are loading the data set into the database. After loading the data set, we are viewing the data set loaded in the database. Then we are going to generate a tuple units for data set. First we are generating tuple units based on author, and then we are generating the tuple units based on paper. Finally, we combine both author and paper and generating the tuple units based on these two factors. Then we are going to compute the adjacency list of tuple units. Here we are computed adjacency list for tuple units and viewing the list in the table. After computing the adjacency list, we are going to compute the Boolean adjacency matrix for keywords in the data set. First, we are extracting the keywords from the data set and computing Boolean adjacency matrix between keywords in the data set. we are viewing the Boolean adjacency matrix. In this matrix, 1 represents true and 0 represents false. Then we are going to compute the minimal distance matrix between keywords in the data set. First, we are computing distance between each keywords in the data set and computing minimal distance matrix for the keywords in the data set. Here we are viewing the minimum distance matrix. Then we are going to score the tuple units directly. To score the tuple units, first we find term frequency of each keywords in the tuple units. After calculating the term frequency, we are computing inverse document frequency of each keywords. Then we calculate NTL of tuple units. Finally, we score the tuple units based on direct method and wait until we receive message. Then we are going to score the tuple units indirectly. First, we are extracting the keywords from the data set. Then we are computing indirect score for all keywords in the tuple units and wait until we receive the messages. Then we compute relationship between each keywords in the data set. Here we need to compute for few more times for processing. After finding the relationship between keywords, we can select any one keyword from the drop-down list and can see the relationship between the selected keyword and other keywords. Then we are going to rank the tuple units based on keyword pair-based ranking. Here, first we are calculating the score between two keywords based on direct score method. We have to wait until we receive some messages. After receiving the messages, we can select any two keywords from the drop-down list and view the relationships and score of two keywords. Then we are going to compute the score. Then we are going to rank the tuple units by using keyword pair-based ranking. First, we are ranking the keywords and tuple units and we have to wait until we receive the message box. After receiving the message box, we can select any two keywords from the drop-down list and can be the score of two keywords. Then we are going to compute the score expectations of keywords in tuple units. Here also we have to wait until we receive message box. After receiving the message box, we can view the ranked tuple unit. Then we are going to select the keywords from the drop-down list and we are going to define the K here. Here I am defining the K as 3 and clicking the search button for answers. Here the search completed and we retrieve top 3 answers for these two keywords. Then we are going to find top K answers for multiple keywords. Here I am selecting 4 keywords and defining the K as 3 and clicking the search button. Here I am retrieving the top 3 answers of these 4 keywords. Then we are going to see the efficiency of our proposed system based on the time and relevancy. First we can see the graph of time taken by our system and existing system. Then we are going to find the relevancy of our techniques. Thanks for watching us.